Tom, Tyrone Mings has already signed. We've done a video on that. Rollo will put a little link to that up on the screen now. Extra work for him. But yeah, transfers. What do you know?
What do I know? Well, I am...
Hopefully more than me, because I don't know anything.
I am the ITK, as we all know. So, I mean, if you haven't heard it from me, then it's probably not worth listening to. No, it's been a interesting start to the transfer window. I don't feel too panicked. I've seen a few people on social media getting out of hand, essentially.
There's always a meltdown to be had on social media about something, isn't there? We've actually been a lot busier than many clubs in the Premier League. Okay, we've had to do that because we've had to bring people in that were already on loan, but we've been pretty active.
Yeah, you mentioned the loans. That's really important. Obviously, El Ghazi and Hawes, but we got Hotter early doors, and if he can recreate the form that he had at Brentford, then that's going to be a really useful squad player, and I think he's going to be effective. And one big position that we were all talking about, it feels like we've been talking about for a long time, was left back, and Matty Targett coming in.
Good player, Matty Targett. I like him. Good footballer.
Yeah, a Premier League player, and he's going to be a very, very good addition to this team, I think.
We need to do more business because we need to have that competition in all areas, and I'm saying we've been busy, but we are short. We've probably had more work to do than most teams in the Premier League. Very
much so. You obviously brought in Wesley, and again, we talked about our lack of knowledge, essentially, of Wesley at the live, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do, because recent reports are saying he's very quick, very powerful, and works very hard for the team, which is music to my ears.
I think he's going to be one of those players that excels in the Premier League. His goal scoring record last season in Belgium wasn't like brilliant. It wasn't brilliant. It wasn't like, I don't think he was in the 20s for goals. So people will be thinking straight away, you've spent someone 25-ish million on someone coming in who, if he isn't scoring 20 goals in the Belgian league, he isn't going to come into the Premier League and score 20 goals. But that's not how it works. If he's working under someone like Dean Smith, he's going to refine his game. He's going to get Wesley playing the way he wants, and I think he'll be effective. I've got a really, really good feeling for Wesley that he's going to be someone that's going to score a lot of goals for us.
Yeah, the kind of... How do you feel like the target man fits into Dean Smith's plans? Obviously, we've played with...
I think he's a bit more than that.
Yeah, okay. So you don't see him... You see him as a very different player to Tammy?
I think Tammy's more of a natural goal scorer. So Tammy's one of those strikers that's going to get a lot of poachers' goals, which is exactly what he did for Villa. He scored 25 goals, and a lot of them were tap-ins, but that's not because he's a tap-in merchant. That comes from good movement.
Agreed.
I think Wesley's all-round game might be a little bit better. I think he's going to be a lot more powerful than Abraham. Abraham's a tall guy, but he wasn't someone who was massively physical. He could hold the ball at well. He's not going to be barging through people and like a bulldozer. I think Wesley's more that kind of guy, and I also think Wesley, from the videos I've seen, on my VCR, I also think Wesley's got a lot more speed about him. He looks very, very quick. I saw someone on Twitter compared him to being a combination of Carew and Bonlahor.
Wow!
And if you're hearing stuff like that, it's exciting, isn't it? Yeah. If you're spending 20,
as long as it's the right combination.
I mean, hopefully he's not out partying when we get relegated. But yeah, if you're spending 20+ million on a striker, it's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's always exciting. It makes me feel a little bit like a kid again when you used to read the back pages before social media, that old.
Teletext.
Yeah, exactly. But you read about these players that you didn't really know about, but you bought into what they could do because you saw a snippet on Grandstand or something like that. And
Grandstand.
Now you.
Rollo's looking over, not clue what Grandstand is.
Des Lynam? Nothing. But you can now see little highlight reels, and you've got to remember that highlight reels are exactly what they are. They only show the best bits.
Yeah, Tom never looked like a world beater on YouTube.
Totally. But
you look like a semi-decent podcast.
Watch the whole thing. Not so good. But you have to get excited about players, otherwise, I mean, if you're getting negative straight away, then what's the point?
No.
You know. So you're exactly right. What you've seen so far of Wesley is exciting. Hopefully he can hit the ground running, because I think that's massively important, the confidence factor, and the fans get behind him. We see some nice things from him, and yeah, he's an exciting player. But at the other end of the pitch, I think that's still the place where we need to work it out, and you and I slightly disagree on that.
The idea of buying a goalkeeper has grown on me.
Right.
To be honest, since we did the Villa View live here, we all thought, me, you and Dolan, that Butland was done, but something has happened. I believe it was almost done. Right. I think Stoke have moved the goalpost with a fee last minute, Villa don't want to pay the fee that Stoke want. Stoke don't want to budge on the new fee that they've put out there. So there's a problem, and I don't think there's going to be a meet in the middle situation here. If we're starting the first half of the season with Steer because we want to wait for the right goalkeeper, I think I'm okay with that. Are you?
I would like to see a goalkeeper competition in pre-season because I
Neelan's back.
Yeah, that's not a goalkeeper competition.
You're not happy with that?
No, I just think I said this before Neelan signed that I was worried about him, and everything that I was concerned about has come to fruition. I'm more interested would have been interested in seeing what Kalinic could do because I don't think we saw enough of him. But Jed Steer is absolutely the number one at the moment.
Yeah.
I would like to see him go against another keeper that I kind of trust. And see if he can beat him out. Because if he can do that, then he deserves the number one shirt against Spurs.
Because you're talking about Neil Taylor, you were asking me, would he be annoyed that left back's coming in?
Yeah.
By that logic of what you've said to me, Jed Steer should be annoyed. He's done more than most to get Villa into the Premier League.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, and I think you're right that sports people, athletes generally should thrive off competition. You know, they shouldn't want to just be the first name on the team sheet because there's no other name. They should want that because they're the first. They've beaten out the competition. Jed Steer's done a wonderful job to come back off loan, get into the team, and have the penalty heroics and help Villa up. He has done a magnificent job.
He offered a stability, didn't he, that wasn't there for the rest of the season.
Totally.
Let's be honest.
And yeah, he was a cut above what we had, and now he gets a shot at his Premier League title, which he potentially saw drifting away at the end of last season with his injuries as well.
League One at Charlton as well, wasn't he?
Exactly.
For part of the season.
That's what I mean. His career was kind of going down that way, and now it's rocketed up there. So he'll be desperate to prove that he's good enough, and I hope he is. And we've seen, from a shot-stopping point of view, that he is good enough. It's the other parts of his game, the coming out.
I think the coming out's okay.
I've seen a couple of clangers, which
he kind of collected the ball at Wembley, didn't he? Like relieved the pressure.
That was good, but it wasn't like he came over players to win it. I just think that the Premier League is a little bit of a step up with the quality of deliveries and the physicality of strikers and centre backs generally. That he's going to have to go through some people, and I mean Neil Cutler's a good goalkeeping coach. He'll be working on those kind of things, of course, and he just wants to get better. So. That's a long-winded answer, but if Jed Steer is number one against Spurs because he's won a goalkeeping competition, then I'm very happy with that. If he's number one because he's really the only choice as a Premier League goalkeeper, I'm a little bit more nervous.
I think one thing that could have been levelled at Jed Steer perhaps was that he's a bit nice, comes across a really nice guy, doesn't he? But you saw in the penalty shootout against West Brom when he's like psyching out the West Brom players. There's got a bit of nastiness in him now, and if Jed Steer's gone away in the summer like I think he probably has, I think he'll have been working down the gym, sorting himself out, because he knows this is his best chance of being a Premier League number one.
Totally agree, and I think that's where having a good goalkeeper coach helps you. Like, I'm sure Cutler would have been in his ear going, just have a little word, or do what you're doing, have the stare, and that's so important to have that experience. And Cutler's been there before, he's done it. If he can, like you say, if he can work on his physicality and his coming out, his punching, his strength, then he becomes a lot more well-rounded of a goalkeeper, in my opinion.
It's all well and good us sitting here and talking about Jed Steer like that, perhaps deserving a chance, but from what we know, we do want a goalkeeper. Mm-hmm. We've identified that as being a position that needs filling, and we're looking at transfers, but we think that there's a list of goalkeepers. We think that Butland's on the top of that list. Second on that list, we believe, Tom Heaton, a cheaper alternative, but someone that doesn't really match the age criteria of what Villa are trying to do.
Yeah,
good goalkeeper, Tom Heaton, someone I really like, and someone that helped turn Burnley's season round when he came back into the side. Would you be happy with him coming in?
So Heaton is the kind of goalkeeper that I can see having a competition with Steer there, because, like you say, the age isn't great. He's only got a few Premier League years left, but it's kind of one of those keepers that if Steer hasn't shown that he's Premier League capable, you've got Heaton there who is, right? Yeah. And then it gives Dean Smith that kind of window of breathing space to find a new goalkeeper, a young goalkeeper, and work on that. I think Butland personally must be really cheesed off that
he's kind of stuck at Stoke in a bit no man's land, isn't it?
If he wants any chance of the England, there's a lot of young, good England goalkeepers. He wants to be playing in the Prem. He wants to be playing at a great club like Villa, and when you miss out on a move like that and it's nothing to do with you, that must be really frustrating for him.
Yeah, it's a difficult one for Butland because I think he's been a good servant to Stoke. You can tell he's one of those guys that doesn't particularly want to disrespect the club. A bit like when Grealish looked like he was going last summer.
Yeah.
He didn't want to mess around and play games and stuff. He wouldn't refuse to play or anything like that. And I think Butland's probably of that same ilk.
Yeah.
Butland will want to come to Villa. He lives in the Lichfield area, I believe. Butland will want to come. He would say that if he was playing for Villa, I think that England #1's jersey. I like Pickford, and I think Pickford offers a lot of good. But Butland strikes me as being someone who's a bit more composed than Pickford. I find Pickford a bit erratic. He'd have a chance of being the #1.
Yeah.
If he's spending another season in the Championship, I think he kind of falls out the England reckoning a little bit. I think he's got away with it over the last year because Southgate wouldn't pick Championship players, except for Butland. I don't think on tournament year he's going to get away with it.
And there are more and more England goalkeepers. It's becoming a crowded position.
But Dean Henderson at Sheffield United, if he goes back there,
and it looks like that's happening.
He's got a chance.
Yeah.
Angus Gunn's now #1 at Southampton. He's a good young goalkeeper. Heaton. Well, so Burnley, to be fair, they've got three England goalkeepers, haven't they?
Yeah,
who have played for England.
Heaton loses out a little bit because of age as well. But Premier League experience, I think, trumps age at this point, and if you want an experienced keeper in the squad, then maybe Heaton's the option. What do you think about Heaton and his age? Is that a big factor or a non-factor for you?
When I try and think about Villa and goalkeeping, and the last time I felt fully confident with the Villa goalkeeping situation was when we had Brad Friedel, and he was an experienced goalkeeper who we brought in at a similar age to what Heaton is now. Goalkeepers go on a lot longer than outfield players. Heaton spent a lot of time as a #2 in his early career as well. So again, I come back to the point of he's not played as much football for someone of his age as he perhaps should.
Yeah.
He's come through the Man U academy, never made it at Man U. Heaton, I like him, and for the £5 million fee that's been mooted, I would suggest again I use the term no-brainer.
Yeah, I think that £5 million. I think it's madness, but £5 million is nothing in this game, and you get 18 months out of him. It's like a loan essentially, because you often pay a fee for a loan now, and £5 million is not wildly out there.
Someone who won't command a fee if they were to join Aston Villa is someone that again has been heavily linked. We need another centre back, even with the Mings situation clarified. We need four good centre backs. Gary Cahill again doesn't really fit the age and the profile of what Villa are trying to do, but you do need some experience in there. And with worries over Chester's fitness as well, could Gary Cahill come in and be that experienced option? Would you be happy to see him come back?
I've long been a fan of Gary Cahill, and he's gone on to win things in his career. Had a great career. I think for me, it's more about attitude than about wages. You know, people talk about these high spenders and all of that. As fans, we need to worry about the books, but at this point, we're not in that perilous position. So it's not like we're just going out and getting 8 new players that are all on 150 grand a week. For me, it's about Gary Cahill's attitude. If he was to come in and be paid whatever he's paid, but be a workhorse, be a leader, be an example, then I think that's all good things. And to me, his wage is less important than the way he plays. To me, it's worrying when you get people that are on huge money and huge egos. Now, Gary Cahill doesn't strike me as that guy. I remember him being really annoyed with the Sarri situation.
Yeah, he had a bad time last season.
All he wanted to do was play football, and he was club captain, and it just felt like Sarri didn't trust him at all. And he's still got that hunger and desire to play at the top level. And again, another guy that knows the club, knows the fans, scored a wonder goal. You know, I wouldn't begrudge seeing him for the kind of money that he's been talked about.
Yeah, because when we last signed an experienced Premier League centre-half when we were in the Premier League, it was Jolly and Lescott. And that did not go well.
There you go. So that's the opposite of what you want.
Yeah, and I don't think Cahill comes with that. I think Cahill is in great condition as well. Obviously, I think to him as well, to go back with his mate John Terry, I think that's probably a big factor. I don't know whether people say, he knows the fabric of the club because he came through the academy and stuff. I don't know whether that carries much weight because he's not a local lad. Was he Gary Cahill? He's not from the Birmingham area. Villa was just a team to him, and I'm sure he's got an affection for us because he's played for us. But I think that coming back and working under John Terry and being part of a big Premier League club is a bigger thing. Yeah,
quite possibly. I guess we just don't know.
John Terry will want him as well.
There's a great relationship there. I love this kind of stuff. There's so much psychology in this because if John Terry comes in and him and Gary Cahill are best mates? Does that annoy other people? You know, there's so many. A football club is like your office, isn't it? You know, there's so many sub relationships, and one person doing something will annoy somebody else. So it's such a fine balance to strike. But for what he offers on the pitch and his leadership off the pitch, I feel like that's a good move. And if it was to be Mings and Cahill going into Spurs away, I'd be quite happy with that.
Yeah, I'm hearing mixed things about whether it's going to happen. I've heard from a couple of good places that it will happen, and from another reliable place that it's not on the cards at the moment. Right. So again, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Would you rather Mings and Tuanzebe?
Oh yeah, for sure. Younger, played together before.
But on loan, Tuanzebe on loan.
We've seen now what having people on loan does to you, because it leaves you in a perilous position when we've got promoted and we don't own a lot of these players that have got us up. So I'm a bit anti the loan at the moment. Tuanzebe's just signing a contract at Man U. He won't be coming in less Man U suddenly by a couple of centre halves.
So that's kind of how I'm feeling with Tuanzebe, in that
I take both.
He makes sense from a Manchester United point of view. It makes sense to send him on loan
because he's not going to play every week.
Because he's not going to play every week, and Solskjaer, whoever stays in charge at Manchester United, will get to see what he's like as a Premier League defender. But for Villa, you get him on loan, and best case scenario is he's great for a year, but then there's no chance he comes back because it becomes a Manchester United centre half. At worst, he's not a Premier League centre back, which I think he is. I think he is a Premier League centre back.
He's an England centre back in my opinion.
But if he has a bad season, then do you know what I mean? There's no long term. There's no chance that we sign Tuanzebe long term. So
no.
Does that make sense as a loan move?
The only way we sign Tuanzebe long term is if he's not good.
Well, that's exactly it. Yeah. So does it make sense for us to bring him in?
I'd like to have both.
Yeah.
That would be my preference. But say we go into Premier League season with Cahill, Mings, Chester and Hawes. Are you satisfied with that?
I think so. Yeah. Chester, I'd like to know a little bit more about Chester's injury situation, because obviously it's I don't know whether it's as bad as Ledley King's was, where basically Ledley King didn't train and then just played on a Saturday.
Paul McGrath.
Yeah, exactly. Whether that's how severe it is that he has to manage, or whether he could manage a Premier League season with a reduced training session and fitness session. I like Chester in the squad. He's been a great servant and has literally put his body on the line for Villa. So I think I'm happy with that. If Cahill's fit as well and Mings is fit, but they've all got a couple of concerns about.
I actually like having 5 centre halves.
Yeah, I'd like more.
Yeah.
But
all
Hawes,
centre halves.
It'd be interesting to see how Hawes gets on in the Premier League and whether he can make that step up. Because again, we heard mixed things from Wolves. He's been great for Villa, and I'd love to see him kind of blossom. If he could become the player that Tuanzebe was, that would be the ideal situation.
See, I think he's Mings' backup. They're both left-footed. I just see Mings as being, when Mings doesn't play, Hawes is the one that comes in for him. I know they play together in the Championship, but I don't envisage that happening too much in the Premier League.
Yeah, he's a passionate guy. He's going to want to. Nobody wants to sit on the bench, so it's nice to have this competition. If it's 4 centre backs or 5, they're all going to be fighting for 2 places. So it's going to be interesting. To go back again to your original question. If it's those 4 that you mentioned, then I think I'm happy with that.
Because another centre-half that we have been linked with is Webster from Bristol City, but from what I hear, they just want absolute crazy money, and Villa and Bristol are nowhere near in their valuation, so I believe we've withdrawn from that. Cue him signing tomorrow. Now I've just said that, but I believe we've withdrawn from that. You can't be spending 25 million on a centre-back that's never played in the Premier League, that's not been at Villa before, like Mings, because people will say, oh, well, you're signing Mings for that money. It's not for me, that.
I think rightly or wrongly, and probably wrongly as well, you get clubs like Bristol City which you just think they don't get the money that they possibly deserve. I think that happened with Norwich and James Maddison as well. Like some clubs,
I got a lot of money, of 20 plus Maddison, wasn't there?
Yeah, but you're now looking at a player that's worth double that, I think.
Well, a year on, money's gone even crazier than it was last summer.
But he's 25 million. I thought for he's very young, isn't he, James Maddison?
He's played for the under-21s.
Yeah, I think he's 22.
Yeah,
and he's very young. He came into Norwich because I think he got shipped out by Alex Neil to Coventry, and then
no one wants to go there.
Got brought back in by Farker, and Farker was like, "We're just going to build the team around you," because he saw this thing. And and I've got a couple of friends who are Norwich fans, and they were like, within 6 games, he'd already outgrown Norwich. Like, and 25 million was a great investment by Leicester because he was one of the most productive players in the Premier League. Don't know how we got onto James Maddison. What I'm saying is, Leicester, I feel like Norwich is one of those teams that possibly doesn't get the value they deserve for players, and Bristol City's a bit like that. So whether Webster is good enough for the Premier League or not, we haven't seen it, and he's just not going to command that kind of fee because they're not a glamour club and they can't afford to be big and bullyish.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Unfortunately for Villa this summer, it is a seller's market, isn't it? People know we've got promoted, they know we've got very wealthy owners.
Yeah.
We're getting overcharged, let's face it. Last one, Calvin Phillips, integral to what they're trying to do. Local boy, a bit like us with Grealish last summer.
Yeah.
Same situation with the fee, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
we're just miles apart.
Totally. Calvin Phillips is a really, really good player, and I'd love to see him in the Premier League, and if Villa could get that sorted, then that would be brilliant. But if you're going to, we don't need to buy Calvin Phillips, I don't think.
We've only got 3 midfield.
But for what they're asking for, do you know?
Yeah, no, we can't pay that.
We need to look elsewhere. So yeah, would love to see him, but just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. Finally, Villa will have a lot of stuff going on that we don't even know about, won't there?
Yeah,
Stuff. Wesley came from nowhere. Target, I didn't see many people saying that he was coming in before he did. So there'll be stuff being worked on that we don't even know about.
Totally, and it's an exciting time. It's one that you should get excited about transfers, get excited about the rumours, and just enjoy it, because it's going to be Premier League. It's going to be difficult, but these are fun times.
No social media meltdowns. We don't like to say that, do we?
Get off it.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.